Good evening, and guess what? I'm actually not doing Lego tonight.
Good evening.
I uh I was browsing on Steam again, found another game I'd like to try called Fantasy Zoo. Um since Mega Zoo didn't work out, I've been looking for other zoo games, and Fantasy Zoo looked interesting, so even though we can't do the Marine Park or Dino Park, this game apparently you can build a zoo with the mythological creatures. So I think we'll start tonight's stream by playing the tutorial, and then we will try and start our own zoo if there's time afterwards. Um, let's switch over to the game, and let's get ready to play. Not a lot of talking tonight. I don't have a lot of talking to do. I still have a big Lego build queue, and I'll be doing a big set on Saturday. I have four different really big sets to choose from for this, maybe five, for the stream on Saturday. So I have to figure out which one I want to do this week. But we'll do a nice big Lego set on Saturday. Maybe also on Sunday because I've got these sealed Lego boxes taking up too much space. I'd like to get them built so I can get them on display. But tonight we're just gaming. So let's go ahead and start the tutorial. Because when I first try a new game, I always like to do the tutorial first, so that because it's better for learning how to play the game than just diving right in where you don't know what you're doing. Okay. In this tutorial, we will cover the basics of how to play. Close and open the tutorial window. All right. As usual, I've turned off the game music, moving the camera, key bindings. I see a typo in the tutorial instructions here. Mouse cursor so we can go along the borders. So yeah. So we can rotate the camera. So we need to build a bench. Okay, so let's destroy something. Time reverse. Alright, so basically these are some controls that are in normal Tycoon games, except in this game they're called spells. I like having consistency in paths, so let's go for, we have white, gray, and brown. Let's keep the white path going. So it says we're supposed to build 10 tiles of the path. So now we need to build walls. Alright, so let's build a gate. Animals. It's only going to let us build the giant spider for right now. Alright, so now we have to make our spider happy. We need terrain. Let's come back. So we got people starting to visit my zoo. And look at this. They're dressed like wizards and witches. This is going to be fun once we start building the full zoo, I think. This really is a fantasy era game. Alright, it says we have not made a good environment yet, so let's give it some grass. Okay, we still don't have a good environmental setting here. We have different terrain types as well. Interesting. This is going to be fun once we start setting up our stuff. Alright, we need to have sleep and food places for the animal. So we'll build a nest so it has a place to sleep. And we'll give it some food. And now we need to get a worker. So we're gonna... Okay, so the workers are goblins in this game. Okay. So it says now we know the basics on how to play. Alright. Is that the whole tutorial then? Alright, let's go ahead and... Alright. Let's stay in this tutorial just a little bit longer so I can explore the rest of these controls. It looks like we're limited what we can do here. But let's go ahead and add a second spider into the exhibit. I do like the visual style of this game so far. It's comparable to the other zoo game, but we're going to get more fantastical elements. So there's also challenges you can do. You can set the admission fee, and you can set research up here. So you're going to have a separate nest for each spider. Okay, we can do that. In a couple minutes, I'm going to switch over and start our actual zoo, since this was a quick tutorial. So now there's a... Let's move that over here. No, not that. I want to move the food. Let's turn everything off so that all I see is the food. It's not letting me move the food. Okay, whatever. Let's go ahead and go back to the main menu, and let's start a new game. We're going to make a large map. It's going to default to forest. Starting gold. Freeform, you don't need to worry about gold. That sounds almost like cheating, though. We're gonna turn off sandbox, I think. I wanna see progression, which means we're gonna need to research things. It might be fun to come back and do sandbox after we actually know how to play the game. So we have to pick a challenge to start. Have at least one animal. All animals have environment fulfilled. So we have to choose between spiders and rats, I guess. Let's first build a path from the portal here. Let's build a backbone from the portal here. And let's go ahead and build our first exhibit. All right, we have our first enclosure. Let's build a gate. And let's bring in a worker. And now let's get in our animal. We can choose between a Capricorn, a spider, a rat, a slime, or a unicorn. We're going to start with our unicorn, actually. Unicorn's a good first animal to have. And it has the incorrect terrain type, as we can see from the image. We need the light green tree. Let's give it some tall grass to live in. Let's give it some food and drink. And let's give it a little place to sleep. Let's build a little. Restroom facility for our guests. But first, tavern offers food and drink. Let's build one of these in the front of the park. Let's build a little path to go around it, though. So let's build our tavern. And let's go ahead and build an outhouse as well. But before I do that, let's extend out our path a little more. Oh man, I put that tavern facing the wrong way. Let's try rotating the tavern and putting it back. Alright, so now the tavern is not set quite correctly. I seem to have lost my outhouse in that process. Let's fix that up as well. Okay. Let's get the unicorn happy. Meanwhile, let's go ahead and construct some more pathing around the enclosure so that we can start blocking out the next enclosure once we finish. I wonder, can we extend an enclosure? Let's come back and get some more wall bits here. Okay, so hopefully this will now be considered part of the exhibit. Let's give it a big tree in the middle of its exhibit. We've cleared the challenge, so we need a new challenge. All right, so we need a bench. And we need to build some more path. Which is really, we want to block out our next enclosure area, so. Let's make our admission fee a little cheaper to bring in more guests. It's not letting me go any lower, unfortunately. Okay. There's no challenges right now, but let's go ahead and bump up our research funding. So now we're researching a few different things here. So we researched something called improved services, which comes with a trash container, a human worker, and something called crystal void. Let's go ahead and add a second goblin and a first human. So now we have 3 workers. Let's build a little lake out front here. Okay, why isn't it letting me build the water? There we go. We have a little lake behind the tavern. We have a trash container. Let's go ahead and put one out. What's that crystal void thing? Interesting. So the crystals are used for magical effects. Okay, let's go back to research and get something else. We're going to research something called strong animals, as well as undead. Well, we can research one thing at a time, it looks like. So let's finish our researches for strong animals, undead, and flying. We're just going to let all the researchers continue, and then we're going to start building again. For now, we can watch the unicorn for a while. Let's go ahead and start building the second exhibit. We're going to put in here the Capricorn, I think. Yeah, let's do a Capricorn. It needs a lake. So let's come here and change the terrain. So it needs a little bit of grass. Let's give it a little bit of grass to work with here. It needs hay and water and a place to sleep. And we need some rocks and trees. Alright, terrain's fixed up for our Capricorn. And did I forget to put a gate on that wall? Looks like I did. Let's give the worker a place to access it. Alright. I'm just trying to make sure my pathing is okay. Yeah, guess they're walking past the gate. Not sure why the workers aren't going inside, but... There's one of my goblins. Let's teleport him. Alright, so we know that's working properly. Okay, so our Capricorn exhibit is put together. Let's research strong animals. So we're gonna get some better walls and stuff. We got the tree ant and another crystal. On the undead, we got a whole bunch of cool stuff. We got skeletons and zombies. The flying is going to give us Griffin and Pegasus and a Harpy. So we'll do that next. So after we research all these things, it's going to let us research the cockatrice. Alright, so we're going to research flying. And after flying, we can do desert, volcanic, and glass. Desert will give us the Sphinx, the Chimera. Volcanic will give us the Phoenix and the Dragon. And the glass will give us... Oh. It doesn't have any creatures in it. So we're just going to sit here and finish our researches before we continue building our zoo. Doesn't look like there's much to this game yet. If that's the whole research tree, I'm going to be very disappointed. We literally just started. Oh, there's a lot more in flying than I thought. Look at all this stuff. Okay. If we go back into creatures, we have a lot more creatures now. Tell you what we're going to do. We're going to keep going on these researches here. We have 3 more things to research. Desert, volcanic, and magical glass. And once we finish these 3 researches, we'll see if there's anything left to research. And then we'll decide how we want to proceed. I've only been playing for about 40 minutes, and it looks like we're already about to finish the research tree. Yeah, this game must be very new. Hopefully there's another research tree behind this one, because this one's going too fast. Alright, we got 2 things left to research, including the one we're doing right now. So it says the cockatrice requires toys. I don't see where that is. Alright. Let's bring in a little bit more. Let's adjust its environment a little bit. And do this. Maybe that might help solve the issue. Alright, so it wants a friend. Any thoughts on the unicorn? Nope. So we need to bring in a second Capricorn then. And our animal selection is growing. Let's go ahead and start the volcanic research. And meanwhile, let's bring in a second Capricorn to give this guy a friend. Alright. Now they both have a bed available. Now if I come to Capricorn, we've improved it. Okay, our animals are happy for the most part. Why is everyone gathered around the enclosure? Okay, so we finished that research. Oh, I see. Because it's a stone wall, they're looking through the gate. If I add more gates, that should spread the people out a little bit. Okay, now with gates, with more gates, the people should spread out to get their views. And the animals should be accessible to the staff now. Research. It looks like everything's researched. Yeah, that was a cheap research tree. Okay. There's way more space than we need. There's not a lot of substance to this game at all. Okay. Let's see what we've got. Basilisk, Capricorn, Chimera, Cockatrice, Dragon, Spider, Griffin, Harpy, Pegasus, Phoenix, Rat, Skeleton, Slime, Sphinx, Treant, Unicorn, and Zombie. Tell you what we're going to do. We're going to build one more exhibit because clearly this game is not complete yet. We're going to build one more exhibit. I'm going to block out a huge set of path first, though. And we are going to fill in some terrain now. And now we're going to build a big wall. So this glass wall allows people to see animals safely. And we will block out this entire area for the dragon exhibit. Actually, let's replace it with these so that people can see in. This game is a bit of a letdown. I mean, it wasn't a free game. And there's like next to no content in this game. So let's bring in a dragon and set up its exhibit. And let's take this person outside. Oh, the person's walking out. The dragon obviously needs stuff, so... let's put a few of these throughout the realm, because the dragon is going to be hungry. Okay, looks like the dragon's trying to escape. Okay, how do we solve that? Crystal of grounding. We need to do the crystal of grounding to prevent the dragon from flying, obviously. And we need to do that with any flying creature, apparently. And it keeps turning off because I'm out of mana. So we need to start feeding the crystal. It's not going to be able to fly away now that the crystal of grounding is running. And I have the mana crystal here pumping it with energy. So we're good now. It needs rocks and trees. It needs a place to sleep. Okay, so the dragon's pretty cool, but that doesn't change the fact that this game hardly has any content. And it looks like the dragon knocked down a piece of the fence. So let's fix our fence. And let's build another crystal. This time the crystal of the fortitude crystal. And let's build these all around my enclosure here. I can't. I don't have enough gold, it looks like. Yeah, I'm out of gold. Alright, so there's really not much more to do here. Let's zoom out. So you can see our whole zoo. And let's call it. Because there's really not much content. There's not much content in this game. We need to wait for this game to be developed some more. So I'm going to call stream early, even though it was a short one tonight. There's only 17 total animals in the game, so we might come back. Now that we know it's such a quick game, we might come back and do a full build next week. But for now, we're as good as we are. Knowing how little content there is, we're just going to do a full game run. Did the dragon just eat a guest and break out of the wall? This is as good a place as any to stop it. Here's our exit view. Let me switch over to the other tab and see who we have available to raid tonight. Oh. Not a single one of them. Oh, there's one musician on. Looks like Heavenly's on tonight. She probably won't notice the raid, though. She never does. But how is it? It used to be Thursday night was the night where most of my musicians would be on in the evening. And tonight, there's a couple musicians on, but all the musicians that are on are doing gaming right now. Alright, so we're raiding Heavenly, and we will be back to play. We will be back to build an all 17 animal zoo next week. Have a good night, and I will see you soon.